Psychosis, kitty cat wrote it, leaking out slow, get the most so
Overdose, slow poke, don't choke this is psychosis. Get hold up, leaking out slow, get the most so ferocious. Swing about, both keep it breathing, keep it up. I spark trees and I won't see meaning. You can catch feelings, speak about dreams and I want so free. Speak about you and
overdose, slow, don't choke this lucid psychosis. Kitty cat wrote it, leaking out slow, get the most so ferocious. Swing about, both keep it breathing, keep it dark. We can spark trees and I won't see. We can catch feelings, speak about dreams and the world so free. Speak about you and me oh so deeply.
Here with more Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. That was probably one of the simplest of those music intros I've ever done. It was really just music underlying some scary ghoul sounds. Well, that's actually the first mod. That's going to be Terrifyer Ghouls. I like the way he named this because it's like Terrifyer-Ghouls, hopefully indicating that we're going to get some more iterations in the Terrifyer series. Either way, what this mod is going to do is overhaul the sounds made by ghouls in Fallout 4, particularly feral ghouls. As you could somewhat tell by the intro, and hopefully can tell by some of the background if I get the audio levels correct, the ghouls sound distinctively more scary. There's a lot of other ghoul overhauls, visual ones primarily. Decay is one of the most popular ones out there. I do have that active in the background, and the combination of those two make the ghouls really feel like proper zombies. Let me play you a short clip from actually a thing he recorded, so I'll have a link to it down below, as well as it's on the mod page, and I feel like it really just captures beautifully how awesome this mod could be, and really how scary it can be. So yeah, this one actually blew me away. Watching that video really sold me on it. If you're playing with something like Darker Nights, or especially on survival, where one hit from a ghoul could basically take you down, you'll quickly learn to be terrified of those ghoul noises because you know just how terrifying those things can be in survival. And yeah, all around, I really love this. Ghouls are all over Fallout 4, and after installing this mod, you're going to start to realize just how abundant they actually are. Then we do have Aquila. This is actually going to be a new piece of equipment featured in Fallout 4. It looks pretty cool, definitely has a futuristic vibe going on with it, maybe from a time that's even a little bit more advanced than that of Fallout 4. But with that being said, the piece of equipment itself is actually fairly basic. There's a few different color customization options you could do to this, as well as, your standard receivers, scopes, things like that, but nothing that really changes the functionality or usage of this mod. There's a few things that'll up the damage, but outside of some of the different color customization options, what you see is largely what you're going to get. It does reuse vanilla animations, and it all around flows pretty well. It seems like the mod might have been built around that idea. It doesn't really require any other animations because, again, those vanilla ones flow flawlessly with the mod itself, and in combat and in usage, it definitely feels like just another laser that you do have appearing throughout Fallout 4. It feels very similar to some of the other things like this in the game, and in addition, it's actually not integrated into the level list. There's one unique variant placed on the map, so you can only get that one, and that's the only way you'll be able to get this in the game. Unless, of course, you use something like console in the future. Either way, it's pretty cool. It's a laser that actually looks pretty futuristic and kind of like it's in almost near future for our time in 2018. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it looks like something that could be coming out of the US government in a few years down the road. So we have the port of the week, and that's going to be the Fire Axe. I showed you guys this last time, and of course now it is available on Xbox One. I'm actually going to take this as a moment to shout out JuiceHead.net. I do have my own merch store. There's always a link at the top of the description down below. You guys can check it out if you want to support the channel in a bigger way than usual. You could use the coupon code Xbox1 to actually get a discount on some of the products on that store, as well as we're actually adding in a few new things coming soon that I think you guys are going to really like. Also, just as some other random thing to mention at this part, we are at episode 95 of Mods Weekly. I want to do something special for episode 100. It's actually going to be really big, and I have no idea what it is. So if you have any ideas for like something cool and unique to do for episode 100, let me know in the comments down below. I'll definitely be reading through them, especially on this video. Then we do have the New Vegas Uniques Mega Pack. So what this is going to do is actually bring many of the unique pieces of equipment that did appear in Fallout New Vegas into Fallout 4 as things you can get through a quest. The way this mod is structured is many of these individual pieces are actually very similar to the things you can get in Creation Club. So you'll spawn in, have a quest automatically given to you, and you have to go to that location, either take someone down or just find the piece of equipment sitting there. I honestly don't hate this. For what it is, it actually makes some of these feel a little bit more special. I also like how they actually have unique quests associated with them to make them just stand out a little bit more from your typical other equipment mods. Although for many of the pieces of equipment themselves, they're not the highest quality, they're definitely interesting, and if you're a fan of New Vegas, you will enjoy having these in the game, although many of them are fairly simple, whether it be a retexture or a few different components added onto the edge of a piece of equipment that was in Fallout 4. It's a great pack on its own right, but I feel like a lot of the enjoyment you will or will not have will be associated with how much you remember and how much nostalgia you do have for New Vegas. If you remember a bunch of great times using these and you want to get them back in Fallout 4, this is going to be a great mod for you. But if you never played through New Vegas and you don't really have that association with these pieces of equipment, I imagine there's some other alternative packs out there right now that may be a better suit for you. I also do want to commend this. We have very few packs like this for Fallout 4, and I just find it really nice to have this really convenient all-in-one so you can get all of these awesome things in your game very easily. This is a pretty simple one, better W scrap. More or less what this is going to do is make it so while you're scrapping different pieces of equipment in Fallout 4, now instead of getting these standard like wood and steel, you actually get some of those useful pieces of equipment, whether that be screws, which I always have a huge problem finding, or springs, glass, copper, crystals, fiber optics, depending on how high level or rare of a piece of equipment it is. There's actually a pretty clear differentiation between like a 10mm and something like a Fat Man. The Fat Man is going to give you significantly more equipment. All around, this is one of those mods that after downloading it, I will probably never uninstall it. It's a quality of life mod that I think everyone should have on their game. It's for PC and Xbox One, and I just think it makes the game a lot more enjoyable and it makes a lot more sense. With the release of Militarized Minutemen, there's been a whole new set of attention for that faction in Fallout 4, and we've been seeing many mods come out for it. Well, today I'm going to show you one that actually goes well in tandem with Militarized Minutemen, and that's going to be the Minutemen Faces Overhaul. It's fairly simple. It's just going to overhaul the visuals and the faces of all the Minutemen in Fallout 4. They're going to look a bit prettier. I mean, it's fairly hard to show because you can't necessarily spawn in a bunch of Minutemen easily. But just overall, I think this is going to be one that you really want to use in tandem with Militarized Minutemen. The two together will make the Minutemen just look noticeably better. If you just use Militarized Minutemen, they'll be dressed really well, but their faces will still be ugly. If you just use Minutemen Faces Overhaul, they'll look really pretty in some pretty crappy clothing. So the two are a match made in heaven, and now you can download both of them. Then we do have Perceptual Beta's animated T45 targeter. That is a mouthful. This is very similar to the animated welding helmet I showed you guys last week. More or less now, after drawing a piece of equipment or taking out your fist, the targeter on the T45 power armor will go down. There's two ways this mod works. Either A, you can have it so it'll always be on that power armor. Whenever you get into the power armor, that little targeter will appear facing up, and then as you take out your whatever it may be, it will go down. Or the much cooler alternative version is that targeter is going to appear when you attach recon sensors or the targeting HUD or any of those different helmet upgrades, and then it will work as you are aiming down. That makes a lot more sense. It's like something going in front of your eye to actually give you the visual of the targeting HUD or the recon sensors. The same concept or same mod is also on the welding helmet, so that'll go down as you're aiming, or even there's a same exact mod as this for the T60. So if you're interested in any of those, I also know they are releasing a bigger pack in the future, including much more than just these individual targeters. So then last but not least, we have a Vault for 2. This is actually originally kind of a Fallout New Vegas mod. The mod author rebuilt it and put it into Fallout 4 in a new location, and honestly it's a pretty cool mod. It's going to be a fairly standard player home mod. It's a mini vault built for seemingly two people, a husband and a wife. I think the mod largely speaks for itself. If you like these kind of player home mods and you don't necessarily love building in settlement mode or maybe don't like sim settlements, this is a great mod for you. Or even as an alternative, not having to deal with a settlement and just having your traditional player home. One thing that really stood out to me in this though that I really liked is many of those little knickknacks that you find on these shelves, that you find on some of the different crafting benches are actually lootable. They are not those untouchable objects, but they are things you can pick up and put into your inventory. I love this, and it really just made me enjoy this mod 10 times more than a lot of those other player home mods where there's static objects that you can't touch. I know that took a very long time to place them all there, and I imagine there was a lot of frustration in the process, so I do want to appreciate that effort by the mod author. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. As always, again, I thank you guys for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. But for today's psych fun fact of the day, we're going to talk about stress or really arousal levels in your body. So yes, arousal, ha ha ha. That's actually not what we're talking about. It's like how active your body is or how aroused your body is. Well, either way, if you have high stress, you're going to have really high arousal. Your body's going to have a lot of things going on in it. It's going to be under a lot of pressure. If you have low stress, your body will have very low arousal. Peak performance is actually at medium arousal. For a lot of people listening to this right now, that probably makes a lot of sense intuitively. When you're not stressed about something at all, your work is probably worse than when you're slightly stressed. The other end, though, may be a little bit more confusing. When you're under very high amounts of stress, your performance and all around just work ethic goes down significantly. There's actually a happy middle ground there. It's like an accomplishable amount of stress. So a stress-free lifestyle isn't necessarily the best thing. Some stress is actually super beneficial to you and your future success. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. I actually uploaded a video yesterday about some of the hardest choices to make in Fallout 4. Didn't get many views. I definitely think YouTube's algorithm had some role in that. So you can find a link to that on screen right now if you're interested. It was pretty fun to make and I found it to be somewhat interesting. But yeah, as always, again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope to see you all next time. Later.